So welcome to Python classes. This is Nigat Naz Ansari. And this is the weekend batch of Python. So this is the detail. These are the details of this Python batch. Weekend only. It started yesterday. Timings 7 p.m. IST to 9 p.m. 5 weeks duration. And this is the course fee. If you want, you can register through this QR code. Jhansi automation in the sense.
To automate any kind of functionality.
Actually, whenever you are writing program, you are doing some sort of automation, right?
Right.
If you are combining this Python with cloud services, so let me talk about Lambda service of AWS, right? So if you are writing code in Python for Lambda, then you can achieve automation for that, right?
Right.
So you have to combine this Python with some other services, right? So to achieve the automation, I think you are talking about this automation only.
Yeah, right.
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
So only first 2 sessions will be free, and the third session will be a paid session. So the topics that I have covered yesterday is introduction to Python. I talked about history, users, features, how to install Python on Windows and Linux. And I have shown the demonstration of Python ideally and how to use online Python compilers and the Visual Studio Code. You can use other IDE as well, for example, PyCharm, Sublime, etc. Then I covered a topic of basics of Python, that was identifier. So today's agenda, I'll be covering keywords, fundamental data types, typecasting, input function, and print function that is coming under input-output in Python. So keywords, fundamental data types, typecasting, input function, and print function. Till here, I'll be covering today. I hope the agenda is clear to everyone. So a quick revision to the identifiers in Python. So Python, we have the identifier. It is a user-defined name, which is given to some variable. Variable contains some values. Then function, class, module, etc., etc. Then identifiers are case sensitive. Uppercase and lowercase matters. These are treated as different characters. Then you should give meaningful name to your identifiers to make your code understandable to others. So it improves the readability of your program if you are giving meaningful name to your identifier. For example, if I write interest is equal to 90, you know that this 90 is the value of the interest. If I'm writing its coder is true, so you can see that the person which is a coder, the value of that person will be true for this variable. Then if I'm writing name is equal to Ram, you can make out easily that Ram is the name of some person. So on the left hand side, we have the identifiers, and on the right hand side, we have the values. Then rules for naming Python identifiers. The identifier cannot be a reserved word. So identifier cannot be a reserved word in Python. So for cannot be an identifier. Print cannot be an identifier. Else cannot be an identifier. Because these are predefined words, they have some special meaning that I'll be covering in the next topic. Identifier should not contain white spaces, means you cannot have this as the identifier because it is containing a space between my and variable. It is not allowed. So variable name or the identifier name can be a combination of uppercase letter, lowercase letter, and the digits. And the only special character which is allowed is underscore. So you can have my underscore variable one. So you have lowercase letters, then you have the underscore, and this is one. So it is a valid identifier. Then identifier name can start with an underscore or can start with a character. It cannot start with a digit. So this is not a valid identifier. And the identifier name cannot contain any other special character except for an underscore. So this is not a valid identifier because it is containing hash. So is a quick recap on identifiers clear to everyone? Good evening, Chaitanya. Good evening, Constantine.
Good evening.
So is the recap on identifiers clear to everyone?
Yes.
So let us talk about the next topic.
Only one doubt. For identifiers, we need to put any specific length. We can give how much length, for example.
No length. No defined
fixed
length in, yes, no defined length in Python for identifiers. Okay. Let us talk about the next topic, which is the keywords in Python. So I told you what are the keywords. These are the reserved words, which have some special meaning, some predefined meaning. They are used in Python for doing some specific task. For example, if I'm talking about for, so this is used for repetition of a task, iteration. If I'm writing if, this means that it is used for conditional statement where I'm using decision making, you can say concept. So if I need to identify a class, or if I need to declare a class, I need this class keyword. So these words which we are using in Python, these are having some predefined meaning and they are used for some special task. So we cannot change the format, we cannot change the case of these, because if I'm writing for, then I told you Python is case sensitive, both will be treated as different. So this for is not equal to this for. And these keywords are used to define the syntax of the coding in Python. For example, if you want to create a function in Python, so you have to write this def, then name of the function, suppose function 1. So you have to follow the syntax that this is how you can declare a function, you can define a function in Python. So you have to use this keyword and the compiler and interpreter will know that def is a keyword and it has the meaning that from here definition of function is actually starting. So it will treat the next value, the identifier, as the function, followed by the function definition. So it is used to define the syntax of the coding in Python. Is this point clear to everyone?
What about print? Print is a keyword or is?
So print is having some special, you can say task. What is the task of this print function?
Is displaying.
It is to display the output on the screen and it is already predefined. It is built-in function, right? So if I am creating a new function of my own, a custom function, a user-defined function, I cannot use this print function as an identifier for my function because this function is already existing. So it is a keyword. So this only this print is considered as a keyword. I cannot actually, you can say, use this print to define my own function or to have the variable name like this. So whatever is predefined, so it is a built-in function. We are not calling this as a keyword. It is a built-in function. Print is a built-in function, right? So there are 35 keywords in Python 3.11. And you have Boolean literals known as true and false. So all keywords are written in lowercase except for true and false. So this true is not equal to this true, because again, Python is case sensitive. So this one is the Boolean literal. So these are some keywords. And you are using it to build the structure of your program, build the structure of your code in Python. Is the keywords clear to everyone? Let me show you the demo on this.
Reverse words and keywords are not same, right?
Pardon?
Reverse words and keywords are the same.
Yes, almost same. So let me just explain you the keywords. So let me define a function. So let me write def. And this is my fun. And what I'm doing here, so I'll be talking about syntax of user-defined function later on. But let me try to print this. So you can see that my fun is the identifier. What is this? Why I'm calling it as identifier? Because my fun is the name of the function which I have provided. So it is the name of the function which I have defined. So this my fun is a user defined function, and functions are always followed by the parentheses. So I have two functions here, print and my fun. So my fun, I have defined this. I am defining the statement inside this function. So 10th statement is the definition of this, and statement number 9 is the declaration of this function. So my fun is user defined. So this is the name of my function. I will treat this as an identifier. Then print is a built-in function. And this def is the keyword here. And this is notifying that my fun is a function which user has defined. So this def is actually telling the interpreter or the compiler that this my fun, which is following this def, this is the function which user has defined. And when I am printing this, I am calling this function. So I will be calling the function with the name of it. So when I'm calling this and I'm executing this function, you can see I'm getting hello everyone. So only line number 13, from line number 13 execution starts. And line number 13, my fun, it is actually, so line number 9, the execution will define my function. And when I have line number 13, it is invoking the function, calling the function. So when I'm calling the function, it will execute the statement inside the body. So it will execute statement number 10. So how I'm able to define my function? With the help of a keyword. So if this keyword is missing, you will be getting an error. So it has some predefined meaning, a predefined, you can say, task to define, to help the compiler identify user-defined function. Clear to everyone? Any doubt in this? Any queries?
It means defining the identifier, it will be execute the displaying that what is we are giving in the print, right?
Only for function. This def is working only for the function, right? So
Function.
if you want to provide if and else statement, right? Suppose if I want to repeat some tasks. So for I in range 1 to 10, and I want to print I. So let me just write 10, because I'll be defining this, I'll be explaining this for loop in the iterative statements. So let me write print hello. So this for loop will tell the compiler that you need to repeat the statement number 10 times. 9, right? From 0 to 9, it has to repeat the statement number 10 times. So how this is repeating? How I'm getting the repeated output? Because of this for. So for is the identifier. For is the keyword here. And range is a function, because it is followed by the parenthesis. I hope this demo is clear to everyone. And how to write these statements, why I'm using the indentation, I'll be explaining it when I'll be taking up these iterative statements separately. It is just to show you how keywords are included in your code. Next is fundamental data types in Python. So basically, I have divided the Python data types into 2 categories. So I will be taking first the fundamental or the basic data type, and I will be taking up the composite data type later on. So I will be relating this fundamental and composite, or what are the data types, right? So if I write some values here, so, and I will ask you to categorize these values. So in which category you will be categorizing this? What is the category of these values which I have written?
It's numeric.
Numeric, right? And if you want to be specific, these are integers, right? If I'm talking about 10.5, 3.2, 1.56, so what is the category of this number? These are also numeric values, but these are decimal values.
Obviously.
Yes, pardon?
Update basic.
Your voice is not clear to me. Can you please repeat? My humble request, if you don't have any valid query, please mute yourself. So this, what I'm doing, I'm actually classifying the values which I'm writing. So first classification, I'm having the category as integer. Second classification, I'm having the values as decimal. Then what is the category of this? So these are vowels in English alphabet, right? So if I talk about cricket, tennis, so what is the category of these values? These are coming in
Strings.
sports, right? Games or sports. So similarly, we have the data types to classify or categorize our values. So I am actually putting a label that cricket is what? It is a sport. Tennis is what? It is a sport. A is what? It is a vowel in English character set, right? What is 3.2? It is a decimal. So I am putting a label to my values, and the labels are known as data types. And these labels are really very important, because These labels are telling that what kind of operation you can perform on these values. So to explain point number 2, let me just use my whiteboard, that why the categorization is really important. So one quick question. When I am storing something in the computer memory, Jawad, 1 second. When I am storing my values in the computer memory, so in which form these values are getting stored?
Boolean.
Boolean? Is the Boolean correct? If I have to store 10 in the computer memory, in the memory cell, how this 10 will be getting stored here?
Integer.
Computer works on which language? Computer understands what language? Yes, Sagar, absolutely correct. Binary. So it will be getting stored in binary. So it will be getting stored like this. So whenever you are storing values in memory cell, how these are actually stored in the form of binary, because computer understands binary language, right? And when you are retrieving the result, you are getting the result back in the form that you have provided the input as. Yes, Jawad, can I have your query?
No, just asking, what's the difference between the class and the labels? Isn't the same thing?
Yes, you can say, because in Python, we are considering that these data types are classes only. So next, suppose if I have to store 1 and if I have to store true. So how 1 will be stored in computer memory? So 1 will be stored in this form. So 8-bit binary number. And true, how this true? Because true is a Boolean literal. And Boolean means on and off. You have two categories, 0 or 1. So 0 means off, 1 means on, or whatever you categorize, right? So you in Boolean, you are dealing with only two numbers, 2 digits, 1 and 0. And true is considered as 1 or 0. Yes, please tell me, true is considered as 1 or 0.
Correct. True or false?
So true is considered, any non-zero number is considered as true, and 0 number is considered as false.
False.
So we say that 1 is actually representing true and 0 is actually representing false. So how, when I'm converting this true to binary, because true is corresponding to 1, so I am storing this in this format. So now I have two memory cells. One is storing 1. Another one is storing true. So suppose I want to retrieve the value back. I want to read the value. I want to print the value on the screen. So both are having the same binary representation. Now there will be a confusion whether to print 1 or whether to print true. Yes or no? Both have the same representation. Will there be confusion whether we have to print 1 or we have to print true? Compiler or interpreter will have the confusion. Are you getting my point? Because both are having same representation in binary. So when I want to read the value, so there will be a confusion whether this representation is corresponding to 1 or it is corresponding to true. There is an ambiguity here. Similarly, for this value, it should be read as 1 or it should be read as true. So there is a confusion. And to remove this confusion, we are providing data types. We are providing labels. So if we are storing the value here and I'm saying that it is an integer value. So it will be printing 1 or true. Will it be printing 1 or 2? So I'm providing the label that whatever binary representation is kept here, it is belonging to integer data type. There is an integer value. So when I want to read this value, so 1 is corresponding to 1 or true. So out of 1 or true, which one is integer value?
1.
1. So this will be printed and this will be discarded. So confusion is removed. If I'm giving the label to this value as bool, so compiler know that it is either 1 or it is either true. So 1 will be discarded. Why? Because it is an integer type, and true will be printed because it is matching with this category. So to remove this type of confusion, we should have data types. So this is actually showing the importance of the data types.
Can you repeat again that part of why it is removed for Boolean 1, and can you repeat these last 2 points?
Yes. So 1, I told you, it is also represented when I will convert 1 to binary, it is stored in this format, 8-digit binary number, and it is 1. True is also actually representing 1. So we consider in Boolean true as 1. So when I want to store this true in the binary format, it is converted to 1. So both are having the same binary representation. When I want to read the value, then there will be a confusion that whether I have to read this value as 1 or I have to read this value as a true. Similarly here, if I want to read the value, I will read this value as 1 or read this value as true. So there is a confusion. So to remove this confusion, we are putting label that this value binary representation, I am providing the label as int. So when I am reading the value, so I have only 2 options, that 1 or true. I will be discarding this true because it is not an integer value. So this label is actually helping me to select the correct option. And when I'm giving the label as bool, so it will be printing true. It will be reading this value as true, not 1. Because of the data type, because of this label, that 1 or true, so it will discard 1 because it is not coming in this category. Let me give you another
Then Boolean
example.
data type is true, right? Then
Yes.
Boolean data type is true, right?
Yes. So
Not
let
1.
me give you another example for this. So those who have still any confusion, let me just provide another example to you. How we are storing 1. How we are storing 1 in computer memory. So how this A is converted to binary. Any idea?
Need to give the variable.
So how many of you have heard about ASCII code? So how many of you have heard about ASCII code?
ASCII code.
Yes.
Yes. You have, based on alphabet letters, they have ASCII codes, right?
So we have ASCII code, right? So for each character, for special characters, we have a number corresponding to that. So capital A is converted to 65. The code for A is 65. Capital A is 65. So when I want to store A in the computer memory, it will be stored as the binary representation of 65. Right? So 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and 64. So this is the binary representation of 65. And if I want to store the number 65, so if the value provided by the user is 65, and I want to store this in the binary, so again it will have the same representation. Now, when I will try to read the value from here, so this binary representation will be converted to decimal, 65. This is also, it will be converted to decimal. But if I print 65 for this value, which is actually A, it will be wrong. Yes or no? So I am printing 65, but the actual value is A. So this will be wrong because both have same representation. There will be a confusion whether to print 65 or to print A. Whether to print 65 or to print A. Because I have two options. I have two options for this binary representation. Again, so if I'm providing the label here, that label is a string or character, right? So it will discard 65, it will print A. And if I give the label as int, so it will discard A because 65 is the integer value out of the two. So this is removing the confusion. These labels are actually telling that what kind of value we are storing in binary. Are you getting the importance of data types? Sagar, both Sagar, Nanjappa, Chaitanya, Soham, Shrikant, Yogi, clear to everyone?
Yes, it's clear.
So that is why we are actually providing data types. So in Python, Jawad, your answer to your question, in Python, data types are actually classes. And the variables, the value which I'm providing, these are the object or the instant of these classes. So there are different data types in Python, which are standard or built-in. So you have numeric data type, string data type, Boolean, sequence types, and sets. So in sequence, I will be talking about list, but this I'll be covering in the composite data type. So list, you have tuple, then mapping data types, I have dictionary. So these data types I'll be covering later on because I will be keeping my focus on fundamental. So how many are, I think all of you are from the science background and all of you have studied physics in your primary school or higher secondary school. So in physics, we are describing quantities. So we have fundamental quantities and we have derived quantities. If you remember, can you relate this? Fundamental quantities and derived quantities. Can anyone tell me what are these fundamental quantities and derived quantities? Any idea? It will be better if you people interact. Then your doubts will be getting clearer in the class itself, in the session itself. I know it has been a long time since you have stopped studying physics. But can you give me example of fundamental quantities? So let me just clear your doubt here. So fundamental quantities are the quantities which cannot be derived from other quantities. For example, mass. You cannot derive mass from other quantities. Length, time. So these are the fundamental quantity, basic quantity. And derived quantity, for example, is speed. So speed can be derived from length and time because it is distance upon time. And what is distance? It is length and then time. Acceleration, change in speed upon time. So you are using one quantity to derive another quantity. Similarly, we have data types, fundamental data types, which cannot be derived. And we have composite data type, which are made up of these fundamental data types. For example, if I talk about a collection of an array of numbers, so 1, 2, 3 are integer data type, and collection of these is a composite data type, which we call it as a list or an array. So array or list is made up of integer value in this case. So it is made up of fundamental data types. That is why I'm considering it under composite data type. I hope you can relate this to physics topic. Is the
Derived
difference
quantity
between?
means
Yes,
it's
pardon?
calculating. Derived quantity means it's calculating the value, calculated it.
Yes, you can say that. So now I will be focusing on numeric data type. And yesterday I talked about a function which is helping you to derive or to determine the data type. What is the function? Chaitanya or Jhansi, can I get the name of the function which is
Type.
determining the type? So the function is the type function.
Yes.
So here, numeric data type is representing the numeric value. So we have 3 numeric data type in Python: integer, float, complex number. So complex number, which is having real part and the imaginary part. So if I write 2 plus 3j or minus 5 plus 6i or j, so it is a complex number. So j part is considered as the imaginary part, and this scalar value it is considered as the real part. So we have 3 data types for numeric values in Python: integer, float, and complex. So let me just show you this thing practically. So let me write A is equal to 10, B is equal to 2.345, and C is equal to 3 plus 9j. And let me print the type of all these functions. So print type of A, print type of B, and print type of C. So type function is used to determine the data type. Just a moment. I'm having some indentation error. So A is 10. Let me print type of A. So you can see that type of A is int, and A is a variable which is belonging to class integer. Then if I write B is equal to 3.4, then let me print the type of B. And you can see that class is float. So B belongs to class float. And if I write C is equal to 2 plus 3j, and let me print the type of C. So you can see that C belongs to class complex. So A is an integer data type, B is a float data type because of the decimal value, and C is a complex data type because of the real and imaginary part. And in Python, these data types are considered as classes. And these A, B, C are the object of these classes because A, B, C are having the physical existence. So A belongs to class int, B belongs to class float, and C belongs to class complex.
Complex means complex also one data type, right?
Yes, complex is also a data type. dealing with real and imaginary parts of the value. So what is this imaginary part?
Is
So can you tell me the value of this 2 square?
4.
4. So if I want to go back, I need to take the square root of 4. So can you tell me, all of you tell me the square root, the value of this square root of 2, or square root of 4, sorry. What is the
2.
answer for this?
2.
So it will be plus minus 2. Why? Because 2 square is also 4 and minus 2 square is also 4. Because this even power, it is actually eliminating this negative sign. So when I have the square of 2 as 4 and the square of minus 2 as 4, so I'm getting, when I have to take the square root of 4, I can get both the answers, plus 2 as well as minus 2. So this square is making negative number as positive, right? So negative number is made positive because of this square. So means the square will always be positives. So whenever I need to take the square root, I need to take some positive value. So can you think this minus 5 exists? If you want to take the square of any number, so x square, can you get negative value? Can you get negative value for taking x square?
No.
No, because this even power will produce only positive result. So you cannot find the square root of a negative number. This is not possible. So if you try to find the square root of a negative number, means this is not existing in reality. This is an imaginary number. So under root minus 1 is considered as j or I, and it is considered as an imaginary number. So when we are dealing with imaginary number, we have to treat, or we have to consider a special data type which is known as complex. Clear to everyone?
do we use type while doing coding, or it's just like for understanding?
No, you can use it. If you are dealing with this, if you want to write a code for the complex calculation, right? Then you can use this. So you have the entire complex arithmetic, the part of the mathematics, which is the section of the mathematics, which is known as complex arithmetic, complex numbers. So if you want to write the code for complex number, you can use this data type.
So if instead of like, C is equal to 2 plus 3j, and if you say print C, I mean, like adding more stuff, like, it won't take it. Here it is just defining classes, right? The type C.
So it is printing C as well. And you can add complex numbers, you can subtract complex number, you can find the magnitude of the complex numbers. You can write the code for this. Okay. Clear to everyone?
No. Here, how many numbers like that we can do complex? Like we can do a number of like 2 plus 3j. This is a as is showing like this. This is nothing but complex data type, right?
Yes. So 2 plus 3j. So this 3 is an imaginary part, which is not existing. And 2 is the real part. So when I have to consider, suppose if I'm talking about int, I'm talking about float. So these are existing because we are working on decimal numbers. We are working on integer number. If I'm writing the serial number, actually I'm using integer values, right? If I'm talking about salary, if I'm talking about interest, if I'm talking about money amount. So basically I'm working on float data type. So the balance in your account, it is represented as the float data type, right? Float decimal number. So we are actually working on int and float. So these are real data types. These are real values that we are working on. But in order to understand some complex arithmetic, we need to deal with this imaginary part as well. So when you have to write the Python code for that complex numbers, then you can use this complex data type.
Okay.
Okay.
Like in which scenario, like output result we need to show based on the complexity, right?
Exactly. What kind of value you require? Clear? But this is how you can use it.
In real-time scenario also we have this complex data types, right?
Exactly. Yes, we have. And in mathematics, we are just like as we are learning mensuration, we are learning trigonometry, we are learning complex numbers as well.
Oh, got it.
And to help those mathematicians, that if they want to automate some calculation of theirs, which is dealing with complex number, you can take advantage of this data type. I hope now this is clear to everyone.
Till now we are using int and float, but first time I am listening complex.
Sagar, Jhansi, Shrikant, Yogi, Konstantin, Chaitanya, and Anjappa, clear to everyone? And I hope, Jawad, this is also clear to you.
Yes.
Yes, it's clear to me.
Okay. So I have not mentioned, so now, because this is integer data type, right? So I can use arithmetic operations here. So why data types are important, right? I'll be telling you this thing after some time. So first, let me cover string data type. And then I'll be just telling you the difference between why the data types are also important, how these data types are defining the operations to be performed on these values that you are providing. So let me just first cover this string data type. So if you want to represent text, value in Python, you have to use a string data type. For example, you need to store hello. So hello is a text value. So it will be treated as a string data type. In Python, you don't have any character. So if you are writing A, it will also be considered as a string data type. Now, how these data types are stored in Python, right? How these data types are stored in Python. So these are stored like an array. So you can see if I'm defining a string. So if I want to give hello as the input, so I am using a variable and the variable name is my string. And how this variable is storing the value of hello. So it is storing the value of hello like this. You can say it is an array, it is a list of each character. So each character is considered as a single unit and the collection of these characters is known as a string. And we are using a string data type for this. You can use double quotes, you can use single quote, you can use triple quotes to enclose your text. But if you are not using any quote, then this will give you an error. So it will give you a syntax error that any text value needs to be enclosed within double, single, or triple quote. Any quote will work, but use of quotation marks are mandatory. Use of quotation marks is mandatory with this text value. And your hello is stored like this, in like an array. And if you want to access any character, so you are using indexes. So position of first character till the last one. You can use these position, or these are known as index, to retrieve any character of this string. So you can have positive indexes and negative indexes. So if you are starting the index from the start of the string, then you are starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So positive indexes from the left of the string, and it will be starting with 0 only. Negative indexing, when you want to start the indexing from last of the string, from the back of the string, then you have to use negative indexing. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and so on. And suppose
left.
if I'm writing, suppose
It's
if
from
I'm
left to right.
writing, pardon?
Negative is going from left to right.
Yes, left to right is positive. So left to right is positive and it is starting with 0. And right to left is negative, starting with -1. So last character of a string is at the position -1. And first character of this string is at the position 0 if you are talking about positive index. So if I'm using this my string 3, so can you tell me which character is present at the third one? I'm using this positive index. So positive index means I need to consider the upper one. So third position, which character? L. So it will give me L character. If I am writing my string -4, means I am considering which index? Negative index, means I have to consider this part. So -4 means this position. And which character is present at this position? It is E. So it will return E to me. And we have to enclose this index within a square bracket. So variable name, a string variable, then a square bracket, and the index. It can be positive index or it can be negative index. And what output I will get? The character present at this position. The character present at this position. So it will be retrieving me the character present at that particular index. So if it is positive index, it will start counting from left to right, starting with 0. If it is negative indexing, it will start counting from right to left, starting with -1, -2, -3, and so on. Is this indexing clear to everyone?
Indexing means is the position of that letter, right? Or character.
Yes, the character. Position of the character in a string.
So let's say if you have like in the string, my string hello world, so that space will be counted.
Yes, white spaces are counted.
White spaces are counted.
Yes. So let me just show you this thing practically. Let me show the demo of this. So let me write my string is equal to hello. And let me print my string. And let me print the first character. First character means 0th index. So you can consider this, that first character, if I'm talking about positive index, it is the first character which is at index 0. So 0 means first character. And -1 means last character. So let me print my string and I want to print the character at the 0th index. So it will return H to me. Can you see? I'm getting the first character. Is the output visible to everyone?
Yes.
And if I want to print the last character, so last character, you can use 4 because I know that I'm starting with 0 and 5 characters are there. So I will be having last index at 4, right? So last character will be at index 4, n minus 1. So you can see I'm getting O. Let me try to use negative indexing. -2. So -2 means I'm getting L. So 0 is O is at -1, L is at -2. So I'm getting L. So positive and negative both indexing references are working here. So if you are starting the index from left, from the start of the string, you have to start with 0 and so on. If you want to start the indexing at the last of the string, from the last character of the string, you have to start with -1, then -2, -3, and so on. -1, the last character, -2, second last character, -3, third last character, and so on. One query. How many positive indexes I have from 0 to 4? What if I'm trying to retrieve a character at index 5 or at index 6? So I'm writing my string and index is 5. So is 5 positive index present here? Because I am starting with 0 and ending at 4. So is 5 positive index a reference to any character?
No.
No. So I'm trying to retrieve a character at 5th index, but character is not there. So no character. So if I'm trying to do this, what output are you expecting?
Out of range.
Out of range. You will be getting an error. Absolutely correct, Jawad. So let me just write print my string and let me try to get the character at the 6th index. So 6th index is not there because indices are from 0 to 4 only. 5 characters. And you can see I will get the error. And which error I'm getting? Index error. Is index out of range. So range is from 0 to 4 only. So 6 is out of that index range. So hello. So if I'm talking about index, so positive index, so it is starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I have the range of the indices or index references from 0 to 4 only. And I'm trying to retrieve a character at 6th position. So this 6th index is out of this range. So that is why it is giving me index error, that I am using a wrong index. Clear? Any confusion in this?
This is clear, but where exactly indexes are using in the coding? It means the length. We need to find the length of the find the character for string of the thing.
Suppose I want to print each character using a for loop. So I'm writing for I in, and this is my string. So first character will be treated as 0th index, means it will be treated as the first iteration. Second iteration means it will print second character. Third iteration, it will print third character. So you can say that here indices can be used as a number of iteration in the for loop.
Okay.
Suppose if I'm taking the string as hello world. I'm taking the string as hello world. And I want to print a substring of this. I want to print only word. So hello world, let me just show you how this is represented. So hello, then space, and then word. So hello means 0th index, then 1, 2, 3, 4, space is at 5th index, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Suppose I don't want to print the entire string. I want to print only a substring.
Okay.
Then I can use this index. And when I have to print more than one character, so I cannot use a specific index only. I need to provide this range, that's 6 to 10. So there I will be using a slicing operator. And how you are using the slicing operator, let me just show you. So with my string, the name of the variable, square bracket, and you have to start with the 6th character and you have to print 10 character. So if you are writing 10 here, it will leave the last character, right? It will print only 4 characters. So if you are going with 11, right? So it will print all 5. So let me just show you. And this colon is representing the slicing operator. Start from here and end here, and 11 is not included. Last character is not included. So let me just show you. So print my string, and let me use the slicing operator starting with 0, and I want to go till 5. Fifth character is not included, a space will not be included. So here you can see that I am getting hello as the word, as the output. If you want to print this substring, and you know you will be getting output as only the substring of that entire text. So there you can use indexes. And I'm getting hello world. So 6 to 10, last value is not included. So when you are taking this slicing operator, so first value is inclusive and last value is not inclusive. This is exclusive and this is inclusive. Means when you are talking about the range, then it will take 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fifth will not be included. So these many values are included in this range. And when you are manipulating the strings, you have to use these indexes and these slicing operator for string manipulation.
White space we need to ignore, right? It means consider is starting with 6, right?
Yes. Clear to everyone? Is this slicing operator clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
And you can use negative indexes in slicing operator as well. For example, if let me talk about hello world. So negative indexes, it is starting from last. So if I want to print this world, so from -1 to -6, because I need to include this 5. So print my string -1 till -6. So -6 to 0. Just a moment. So you can see I'm getting the value. So ORL. So you can use negative indexing with slicing operator. So hello space world. So -1, -2, -3, -4. So it is actually giving me this. So -4 and -1 are exclusive. So you can use negative indexes with slicing operator as well.
Can you repeat again this one? Negative index.
So let me just delete this one, right? So there is only one print statement, and let me just execute this. What I'm getting? What output I'm getting?
ORL.
ORL.
L, right?
Mm.
So ORL, so hello space world. So -1, -2, -3. So -1, -2, -3, and -4. So I have to start with -4 till -1. So -4 till -1. So I told you first part is inclusive and second part is exclusive.
Oh,
So it
that's
will,
why D is not coming.
yes. So it will start with -4. So it will print O, -3 R, -2 L, but it will exclude the value at -1. So D will not be printed. That is why I'm getting ORL as the output. Is this clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone?
So if we want to print the whole like world, so what the last number we have supposed to give like 0 after, like if you want to include the D also, then 0. Okay. Manu.
0 actually it is not taking. Let me,
-1.
yes, because actually we don't have 0 in the negative index, right? We have only negative at the last index is -1 only. So it will leave -1. Because 0 is not considered as negative indexing. For this, you can use positive index. Clear?
We need to give -6 slicing -1. It will come hold. Can you give -6?
Here,
Yes.
in place of
-6.
-1.
No, not there. First one, inclusive. It will come hold. Yeah.
It will take space. -6
Yes.
is at space. So you can see -5 is W and -6 is the space. So it will include
Oh, yeah,
-6,
correct. Yeah, correct,
right?
correct.
And you will
Can-
get like this.
Can you give like a space over there in the world, my string hello world and then space? It might come.
Yes, then it will come.
Yeah, it will come.
Yes, then it will come. Because now space will be taking as -1. But
Yeah.
if you are not taking space, you can use positive indexes in that case. Okay.
Yeah, that is also correct. Yeah, it's coming. Space it will come.
Now I want to use an arithmetic operator. So operator I have not started yet, but I want to use arithmetic operator. Arithmetic operator plus sign. So it will decide that which operation to perform on which data type. For example, this plus can perform addition operation and it can perform concatenation operation. So one operator can be used to perform two different operations. So one thing can be used twice. Yes, Agar. Actually, I was missing this and I'm trying to recall this. Yes. So it will print. I will be just explaining you this thing. So, but before that, let me complete this. So plus, this is the operator. And this operator can perform two operations. It can perform addition, it can perform concatenation. So when to perform addition, when to perform concatenation, it is decided by the data type. And this is known as operator overloading. That one operator can be used to perform two different operations. And this is known as operator overloading. And when it has to perform addition, when it has to perform concatenation, it is determined by the data type. So the data type is also used to determine the operation performed by a particular operator. And one operator used to do different tasks. This is known as operator overloading. Is the operator overloading clear to everyone?
What is about? Can you repeat again? Operating overloading.
Let me just explain you with the help of a simple example. I'm having A is 10 and B is 20. And I want to print A plus B. Can you tell me the expected output?
30.
30. So what it is doing here? The plus operator is doing what here?
Addition.
Which operation? It is performing addition. Why it is performing addition? Because you have numeric data type. So on numeric data type, you are performing addition, right?
Correct.
Let me just take my string 1 is equal to hello. And my string 2 is equal to world. And let me print my string 1 plus my string 2. So what is the expected output here?
Hello world.
Hello world. So what it is doing? In the second case, it is concatenating the two string, joining the two string.
Okay.
So one operator, I'm using single operator plus. One operator performing two different operations, giving me two different output. Why? Because I have two different data types, right? I'm using operands with different categories. So one operator performing two different operations or multiple different operations. This is known as operator overloading. Clear?
It means when we are getting the numeric values going to the addition operator, when we are going to the
Yes.
string operation, it's going to the concatenate operator.
Yes.
Right?
So how in step number 11, I am getting addition as the how this plus operator is selecting addition or concatenation. So how it is going with addition in step number 11 and how it is going with concatenation in statement number 14. So it is because of the data type. So in step number 11, you have A plus B. So A is also integer, B is also integer, means both are numeric. So it is because of the numeric data types, because of the numeric value, it has decided to perform addition, right? And for my string 1 plus my string 2, now both the values are text values, means string values. So based on the data type, it has decided to go with concatenation. Now which operator is actually performing which operation, it is determined by the data type. So second point, data type is important because data types are determining which operations need to be performed on which value. I hope this is clear.
What about Boolean? Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. What about Boolean values also? We can do this
No.
data type? No,
No.
no, right? Only addition and
Yes.
concatenation. Yeah. Okay.
Plus is performing only two operations, addition or concatenation. Addition with numeric values and concatenation with the string values. Is this clear to everyone? Any problem in this? Operator overloading? Sagar, there are another examples as well. So let me just take the example of multiplication. Right? So when I'm multiplying, suppose A and B, it is giving me multiplication, the product. And when I am multiplying any string value, it will actually repeat that string. So string 1 is containing hello. And when I am multiplying this by 2, so it will print hello twice. It will repeat the string, the number of times you are multiplying. So you can see that statement number 11 is performing product. It is actually calculating the product, performing multiplication. And second one, the statement number 14, I'm getting hello twice because I have multiplied this string by 2. So this asterisk is actually performing 2 operations. So single operator and performing 2 operations, multiplication, which is calculating the product, and second one is repetition. So if I'm writing hello into 3, so it will print hello thrice. It will repeat hello thrice. And if I'm writing 9 into 3, it will give me 27. It will actually calculate the product. So one operator performing 2 different operations, giving 2 different results with different data type. Again, this is an example of operator overloading. Is this example clear to everyone?
What happens when we print my_string _1 with my_string _2 with multiplication?
No, you have to multiply a string with some scalar only. Means how many times you need to repeat. So a string into some scalar. So 3, 4, 5 means number of repetition.
It should be error, right? If you do multiplication
Let us try that. Okay. So it is an error. Can't multiply sequence by non-integer type, which is a string. You cannot multiply 2 strings together. Clear?
Yes.
It should be scalar always, right? It means.
Yes, it should be scalar. Means it is determining the number of repetitions, that how many times I need to repeat a string, right? If you are writing my string into 3, so it is repeating. So 3 means 3 times. So it is repeating word 3 times. So this is also an example of operator overloading. Sagar, is this clear? Chaitanya, Jhansi, Yogi?
Okay. Operating overloadings, we are considering only multiplication as well as addition, no? Or any other there overload.
Till now
Other
only
than
these two are
multiplication
there.
and okay.
So now this data types are very crucial to tell the operator which operation it has to perform. So these are really very important. Next, let me give my string is equal to, and let me try single quotes, hello world. Suppose I want to use this slicing operator and I want to print the entire string, right? I want to print this entire string. So I am defining the starting point that start from here, start from 0. But I'm not giving the second part. I'm not giving the last part. So when I'm not giving the terminating part, so it will print the entire string. So you can see hello world. It is printing the entire string. if you are not giving the starting part, right? So it will by default start with the first character. And you are providing the end value that start with the first character and stop till the sixth character. Sixth character will not be included. So it will print hello. So it is possible that if you don't give last value in the slicing operator or the first value in the slicing operator. So if you are not giving the last value in the slicing operator, you are giving like this. So it will start with the first character. And I'm not providing any end character value. So it will traverse the entire string. It will traverse the entire string. So from the first till the last. Then if I am not providing the starting value, so starting value is blank, but the last value, for example, is 6. So it will start from the first character. By default, first character. And it will print till character number 5, means 6 will be excluded. So from in hello, so from 0th character, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And the space is 5th. So it is printing this much.
If not providing any value, it will
If
come
you are
all
not
over.
providing any value, then entire string.
Correct.
Because when you are not providing the first value, it will start from where? From the first character. When you are not providing the second value after colon, it will traverse the entire string. You can see hello world.
Exactly.
Clear? So in that example which Sagar was telling, so it is hello space world. So here -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So from I want to print this entire world. So either place a space afterwards or give the starting value and you want to print the entire thing till the last of the string. So -5 colon and leave the second part. Leave the second part. So you are telling from where to start. Start with the W character and traverse the entire string from here onwards. So print my string -5 colon and a space after that. So you are getting world in this. So why you are getting world? Because you are defining the starting point, the starting character. But after that, you want to cover the entire string from W. So you can leave the second value as blank. Now, one quick question. I am taking only integer value, whether positive integer or negative integer, right? And I'm getting a single character.
Correct.
Can I give a float value inside this square bracket? Can I give the float value inside the square bracket?
No, I guess.
So you will be getting an error because indices should be of integer type only. And what you are getting? Type error. Which error you are getting? Type error you are getting. That you are using wrong data type for the index. Only integers should be allowed within the square bracket. So you are getting two types of error with the string index. So suppose 0, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So only 10 characters are there. If you want to retrieve 12th character, then you will be getting Index
Out of-
error means out of bound. Index out of range. And if you are trying to give my string and instead of the integer, you are giving 2.5, so you will be getting type error. That wrong data type you are using for the indices. Clear to everyone?
We can use my string, like how we can use okay, we got this one, and we can use arithmetic operator also, right? My string
Yes.
plus
Yes.
that arithmetic overloading operator.
I hope the slicing operator is very much clear to everyone. Thank you, Constantine. Shall we take a break of 10 minutes? A short break?
Okay.
Then I'll be starting with the last data type, Boolean, and then moving to input and output functions. So please come back after the break. So I hope everyone is back. Yes, please notify if you're back.
Yes.
Okay. So we have talked about slicing operator in a string. We talked about positive and negative indexing. We talked about operator overloading. Now let us talk about Boolean data type. So Boolean data type is also one of the built-in data type, and it is representing two values, true for non-zero values, false for zero values. So when you compare two expressions, either you get true or false. So you are getting Boolean output with comparison operators. And you can use a function which is known as bool function. It is also built-in function. And whatever value you are providing here, it will be converting that value into either true or false. And it is applying Boolean logic to calculate these true and false value. So let me just show you practically how it is working. So I want to print. So I am giving the input as 10. And what this bool will do, bool will convert this 10 to either true or false. So 10 is a non-zero value, means it is considered as true. And the print function will print the output of the bool function. So this is known as nesting of function. So what is nesting of function? That I am using two functions, one within the other. So this inside function, first, what it will be doing, it will be converting 10, which is an integer data type. It will convert this to Boolean type, right? So it will, because it is a non-zero value, and I told you non-zero value is considered as a true. So it will provide the output as a true. And this true is printed by this print function. And I'm getting true as the answer. And remember, Boolean literal, T is capital, F is capital in false. You can write the entire expression. So if you want to check whether 10 is less than 18, so 10 is less than 18, this is true. So I will be getting answer as true, and it will print true here. So I'm getting true as the answer. So this bool function is inbuilt function, which I can use to produce true or false value, means Boolean literals. So if I want to compare 3 is greater than 1, so this is true, right?
False.
So let me just write less than, so that I want to have false result. So 3 is less than 1. This is false. And I will be getting false as the answer. So I'm getting false as the answer. So how to convert the expression to either true or false? How to get the values based on the basis of the truth value or on the basis of the Boolean logic? So I have a function which is known as bool function. Now, if I check with 0, right? So print bool 0. So what output you will be getting?
True.
So you will be
False.
getting false,
Zero.
because I told you 0 is representing false. 0 is actually representing false, and non-zero value are considered as true. So 0 values false and non-zero values true. So when I want to check that what is the Boolean representation of 0, it is the false.
To give 1, it will come true.
Yes. It will come true if you give 1, because 1 is non-zero and any non-zero value is considered as true. Whether you give 1, you give 10, you give 100, any non-zero value is considered as true and 0 is considered as false. I hope this bool function is clear to everyone, and the Boolean literal.
It has to be integers only, right?
Let us check with 10.6. So I'm getting the answer as true.
So in case of 0 point something,
So let me just make all the statement as comment, and how to make all the statement comment in Python. Start with hash, all right? So let me take 0.5. So 0.5 is a non-zero value, means half is existing, right? So when half is there, it is a non-zero value. It is considered as true. Any other query in this?
Boolean is a data type or function?
Boolean is a data type, and bool is a function.
Okay.
So-
Bool is fact function.
Yes,
Boolean is a data
bool-
type. Correct.
Anything which is having parenthesis at the end is a function. So bool is a function, and Boolean is a data type, which is working on
Data type.
binary logic, Boolean logic. Okay.
Got it.
And I will be talking about Boolean literals, true and false, when I will be taking up conditional statements, means if and else. So I will be talking about Boolean in detail in conjunction with this conditional statement, if and else. But for the time being, I hope how to use this bool function and what result it is providing to us. This is clear to everyone. Any query regarding this?
Then whenever using Boolean data types, we need to use bool function, right?
It is not like whenever you are using Boolean data type, it is not mandatory to use bool function. I just want to check what is the value of this in according to Boolean logic. Then you can use bool function, but you can use Boolean literal true and false with if and else. You don't have to use bool function here. So no need to
Okay.
use bool function here, but still you are using true and false. Okay. So I will not be explaining the logic. I will not be explaining the syntax, right? But let me write a very simple program. Age is 10. If age is greater than 18, print you can vote. It is a very simple and classic example. Else, you cannot vote. So you can cast your vote only when your age is above 18. And let me take the example, age is 10. So which statement will be printed? Which statement will get printed on the output console? Age is 10.
10 greater than 18.
So what output will I be getting here? So Jhansi, Nanjappa, Chaitanya, Yogi, Constantine, Sagar. Can I get the output? So which output I'll be getting? You cannot vote. So absolutely correct, you cannot vote. So why I am getting this part? So there is a condition. So what is the value of age? I told you whenever you are calling any identifier, any variable, it will substitute the value. So value of age is 10 and it will substitute 10. And this, what is the value of this? 10 is greater than 18. Is it true or false? This is false. So you are using Boolean literal as the output of this comparison. You are using Boolean literal, but you are not using bool function. And when it is false, means you need to go to the else part. So you have to check age is greater than 18. You have to decide that if it is true, then provide if statement, print if statement that you can vote. And if it is false, then go to else statement. Cannot vote. So this is what decision making is. You have two paths, true or false. Which path you have to follow? It depends upon this condition. So I'm getting age as 10. So I'm getting answer as false. That is why I'm getting this output. If I write 20, 20 is greater than 18. This is true. And in this case, yes. In this case, this is true. So I will be getting this output vote. So out of this statement number 11 or statement number 13, which statement to print? It depends upon this condition, and condition is actually returning true or false. Means it is giving Boolean as the output, Boolean literal as the output. So you are using Boolean literal here, Boolean data type here, but you are not using bool function. Are you getting the importance of Boolean data type?
Yeah, got it.
Yes,
Whenever we require condition, we need to go to the Boolean data type. Right?
Yes, because the comparison operator is actually returning you the true or false. Means the Boolean literal as the output. Now I don't want to keep this whenever I will be executing this program because age is fixed that it is 10. So I am assigning the value of age manually, means statically. And whenever I'll be executing the program, it will be providing me the same result. You cannot vote because age is 10. Every time I'm executing the result, age is 10. So is it a good program or a bad program? Because for all the voters, for all the candidates, age is not fixed to 10, right? Different people have different age. So is this program a good one or bad one?
Bad one.
Because every time when I will be executing this, I will be getting same output. So what I have decided, I want to get the age from the user who is using this program. A user wants to know whether he can vote or not. So I want the user to provide the detail, to provide the age. So I want to get the age from the user, right? And I want user to input his age. So remember, when you try to log in, you are actually feeding your email ID and your password, right? When you want to see your result, the students, when they want to see the result, they have to input their roll number, right? Similarly, if you want to check whether you can vote or not, you have to provide your age. So how to take the age of the user as the input? So you have to use the input function. You have to use the input function. So I have completed the fundamental data types, right? And I want to start with typecasting. And I am explaining typecasting with the help of input function. So input function is actually taking the input from the user and providing it to this program. And I'm saying, and this is the message to the user, that enter your age. So when I execute this program, it will ask, enter your age, and I have to provide the age. And when I'm providing the age, suppose I'm providing 20 here, I will be getting an error. I will be getting an error. Why? Because
We need to give type indicator, type.
why I'm getting a type error? Because this input function, suppose I have provided 20 as the input, and how it is returning the data to the program. So I have provided integer value, and it is returning a string value.
Correct.
So input function is returning everything in the string, and you cannot perform relational operation or arithmetic operation on a string value, right? So you cannot compare a string to a number. You cannot compare this comparison, because comparison is with the similar quantity, right? So when you are going to buy some potatoes, for example, so here you have potatoes, and here you are keeping the weight in another pan. Why? Because you are comparing mass with mass, weight with weight. When you are going to buy a cloth, so that cloth is measured with the help of a meter scale, because you are comparing the length of the cloth with this meter scale. So comparison is between the same quantity. So that is why I'm getting the error, because I cannot compare a string with int. So input value, whatever value you are providing, whether float, whether int, whether anything, it is converting that value into a string. So it is providing a string value to the program. So age will have 20, but in the form of a string, and you cannot compare a string with int. So what you have to do, you have to convert this string to integer again. And this is a type conversion, converting a string to integer. And you have a function here, which is known as int function. So whatever value I'm getting here, I want to convert that value into int. So input will provide a string value, and I want to convert a string value to int. So I'm using an int function. And now age will be having the integer value. And when I execute this program, I'm getting enter the age, suppose 20. I'm getting you can vote. Because now age is having 20 as the integer value. An integer can be compared with an integer. And this is known as a typecasting. So this, what I have done here, this is known as typecasting. Converting one data type to another one. So I have converted a string to integer using which function? Using an built-in function, which is known as int function. So when I have entered 20, so input function is converting this 20 to string, and I want to convert a string back to int. So I have to use a explicit function which is known as int function. It is converting 20 back to int. So this is known as typecasting, and I am doing this typecasting. That is why it is known as explicit typecasting, because I am using a function explicitly.
This is converting from integer to string, a string to
Yes.
integer.
Input is converting integer to a string, right? And I am converting a string back to integer with the help of integer function. And this typecasting is done by the user, done by the programmer. So we are calling it as the explicit typecasting. And input function is used to take the input from the user. So I will be explaining typecasting in detail in the next session, because time is almost, you can say.
We can do string functions also like that. Like now we are changing
Yes.
integer because
Yes.
of age,
Yes.
8 greater than 18. But
Yes.
in the other case, we have string also, right? Instead of
Yes.
changing.
So I will be taking up typecasting in detail. So I've explained you what typecasting is. So what is implicit typecasting, explicit typecasting, and different type conversion function, I will be taking up in the next session. But I think the program is clear to everyone. Anyone having any problem in the program? This one, why I am using int and input? So can I have a quick feedback in the chat box for today's session? So I covered keywords, a recap of identifiers. Then I have covered data types, importance of data types, fundamental data types, numeric, then string and bool. And I have introduced typecasting along with the input function. And I'll be explaining typecasting in detail in the next session. So my humble request, can I have a quick feedback of today's session in the chat box?
This is weekend class only?
Yes, this is weekend class only. Next session will be on the next weekend. I think that is
So
9th of September.
during that time, we get like some kind of homework or something like that, or?
So if
mean-
you are enrolling into the session, I will be providing you with the material and with some of the programs that you need to practice, but only for
Okay.
the paid students. And
Okay.
you'll be getting it in the next session onwards.
Okay. And the payment link.
It is there in the chat box.
Okay, thanks.
And this is the last demo session. Next session will be only for the paid students.
Gotcha.
So thank you all.
Thank you.
Constantine, you can just, if you want to connect me, you can just connect to support team and they will be providing you your message to me. And if you are enrolling into the course, then I'll be providing you my email address directly.